Okie dokie, here we go. Lesson 14, this is still module 2. Make note of that. And in this lesson, our objective is to use fraction and decimal multiplication to express equivalent measurements. So we haven't really done much with fractions yet, but we're going to tie our fractions and decimals together so that you can kind of get a sense of, yes, this is equivalent in two different ways. So we start out usually in class and we'll do a little bit of pre-work. So for example, if you say, I have 4 times 1 banana. Okay, well, if I have 1 banana 4 times, then I end up with 4 bananas. And why are we talking about bananas? Because it doesn't really matter what you have here. It's just a label. This is a label. So 4 times 1 banana makes 4 bananas. So 4 times 1/7 would make 4/7. See how the label is applicable? And then now we're talking about fractions. So let's look at it in numbered form. What is 4 times 1/7 equals 4/7? 4 as a whole number times 1/7. 1/7 is written this way equals 4/7, and that's written this way. The number that you're selecting goes on top. The total number in the set goes on the bottom, okay? And so when I talk about 4 being a whole number, I can turn that into a fraction simply by putting it over 1. Remember that the division bar or the fraction bar is a division sign. This is a division sign. So if I have 4 over 1, it's like saying the same thing as 4 divided by 1. 4 divided by 1. It's 4. So I can do that. It's all mathematically accurate. Okay? So then we also talk about like all of the pieces in a set. So I started out with only half, and it was 2 out of 2 makes 1 whole. And then I drew a line across and I said all 4 pieces out of a total of 4 makes 1. And then 8 pieces out of 8 also makes 1. When you select this, okay, if this is selected and this is the total, then it's a whole bunch of different ways of getting 1. These are all equal. 8/8 is 1, 2/2 is 1, 4/4 is 1. I know this is probably over your heads, but I just want to tell you this because 7/7 is also 1. But 4/7 is not equal to 1 because it's not the whole set. Okay? This process is called renaming. Okay? And then here I also have a little bit more. This is a fraction bar. It's also a division sign. Now, let's look at a few other examples before we look at our formula. So if I have 14 times 1/7, kind of like in the sample problem above, then it would be 14/7. Now, remembering that this is a division sign, 14 divided by 7 equals 2. So now that you know that, we're going to take we're doing conversions, okay, and we're using fractions and decimals to express these equivalents. And we want to take a piece of 1 and say, well, what is this out of the whole? So if I say 1 day is what? Well, 1 day is or equal to 1/7 of a week. So here we have our fractions coming into play. 1 foot equals or is 1/3 of a yard. It takes 3 feet to make 1 yard. So if I only have 1 foot, then I only have 1 out of 3 pieces needed to make the whole thing. So there's a picture, and then there's a label that goes with each of these. Same thing with 1 gallon. There are 4 quarts in a gallon. So if I only have 1 quart, I have 1/4 of a gallon. Down here with the metrics, if I have 1 meter, this was like our work in class, measuring a whole bunch of things. If you can get your hands on a meter stick or a tape measure that has centimeters on it, you can make those conversions and go back and forth between millimeters, centimeters, meters, and then you can label kilometers too. Now, remembering that 1 centimeter is a teeny tiny measurement, like about the width of my pinky or my pencil, then that is appropriate that it would only be 1/100th of a meter. And remember that 1/100th can also be written this way. And then 1 meter, going from a small to a larger unit, is going to be 1/1000th of a kilometer. Now, if you got all those notes, great. If you didn't, pause the video and go back. But here is where we have key information today. Okay, we're going to take that formula from lesson 13 and we're going to apply it to lesson 14. We have something on the left, but today in this video, the left unit is going to be smaller. In the previous video, this unit was larger, so we were multiplying by whole numbers so that we could have more of the smaller unit in number to make the equivalent size. That probably seems confusing, but let's look at it and hopefully you'll see. Remember, it's just a process and we're just showing the same thing again and again and changing one thing at a time. Take your 14 days, copy it here. Remember that the first thing you should write would be this number, 14, multiplied by 1 of the old unit. Okay, same strategy. Multiply it by 1 of the old unit. The day's here, day here. Then convert it. Okay, what is this in comparison with the new unit? So a day is only 1/7 of a week. So that sets up this new little multiplication problem, which we haven't really done much of yet because they just love to throw this stuff all at us at the same time where we're actually applying multiplying fractions and they haven't taught you how to multiply fractions. So it's kind of a hassle. But you take your 14, you make it 14 over 1, which we can do because mathematically this is correct. 14 divided by 1 is 14, so that's okay. Put the multiplication sign times 1/7. And when you multiply, you go straight across the top and straight across the bottom. So we have 14 times 1 is 14, and 1 times 7 is 7, which gives us a new little problem here. Remember, this is a problem in itself. That's 14 divided by 7. So if you do 14 divided by 7, you get 2. And so then you have your new label. So 14 days is equivalent to 2 weeks. So I hope that makes sense. If it didn't make sense, watch it again. I'm trying to be as clear as I can. There are 2 more sample problems here. 24 feet equals how many yards? These are smaller units. These are bigger units. I should have fewer of these than I have of these. Take this number and copy it. Multiply by 1. This is 1 of the old unit. Then what is the equivalent of feet to yards? Well, 1 foot is 1/3 of a yard. So we're coming up with some fractions here. Take that 24 times 1/3, put 24 over 1. This has to be on top. You can't put it on the bottom, otherwise that's totally a different fraction. It's a different number. Multiply across to get 24, multiply across to get 3. You've now created a division problem, 24 divided by 3, and you get 8. Same thing here. This is with metrics. 195 centimeters equals how many meters? So we're going from a tiny unit to a larger unit, which means we're going to have fewer of these, so I need a smaller number. Take this number and copy it. Multiply by 1 of the old unit. Then show the equivalent right here. This is where the magic is happening. 1 centimeter equals how many meters? Well, 1 centimeter is 1/100th of a meter. Now also, in this lesson, you will see them using decimals. 1/100th in fraction form is equal to 1/100th in decimal form. Okay? So either one is okay. You can use what is comfortable for yourself. And then when you multiply, you should end up with 1 and 95/100 meters. A lot of notes today. Sorry for the long time. I know 10 minutes is a lot. But hopefully now you'll understand how to proceed in the book. Okay, the first one is done for us. We're going to solve. And again, it's copy 1 of the old here. Convert here. This is the equivalent of the new. And so that's what you have to kind of know. We were talking about this in class. This is what you have to know, and because who's going to come up with 1/7? You are. Okay, so then you multiply across, and this is going to be basically 28 over 1. So 28 times 1 is 28. 1 times 7 is 7. That's where that comes from. And then this is a division problem. 28 divided by 7. And that gives you your 4. Okay, so that one's done. And then we get to hop right into B. So convert quarts to gallons. Now remember, this is smaller. quarts are smaller and gallons are larger. I almost put gallons. Okay, gallons are larger. So 20 quarts equals what times 1? You just copy 20 times 1 because 20 times 1 is 20 quarts. See, it has to mathematically make sense. Then we bring it down, copy it. And they did help you here. This is what's called scaffolding. They're helping you by saying, well, guess what? A quart is 1/4 of a gallon. There are 4 quarts in a gallon, so 1 quart is 1/4 of a gallon. So on this part, I like to have all my work showing, and to help students, I'll usually write it off to the side. Okay, and so this is where we're multiplying 20 times 1 to get 20, and 1 times 4 to get 4, so that you have 20/4. And then our final answer is 20 divided by 4 for what? And that would be 5. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Let's move on and practice a couple more. Now they're taking away some of the wording, which is the scaffolding that helps us. So let's do this. You can do it. We're changing centimeters to meters. These are smaller. These are bigger. So when we do that, we're probably going to have a fraction. Let's check it out. What do you put in the first blank? Copy the number. What do you put here? 1. 1 of the old unit. 920 times 1 is 920. What do you put here? Let's copy that again. But now, in this box, this is where we're changing from centimeters to meter. 1 centimeter is the equivalent of what in a meter? Well, this is tiny. It's so tiny. It's only 1/100th of a meter. What if you wanted to write it this way? Could you do it? Yes. Okay, so this means or. 1/100th in a fraction or 1/100th in a decimal. So if you multiply it out this way in fraction form, you would get 920 over 1 times 1/100th to give you, and look how they took away one of the lines. So you would have 920 over 100. If you do straight decimal multiplication, and let's say you put the 0.01 there, and you go ahead and straight multiply, you'll only have the answer here, just like this. So it's going to be 920 divided by 100. So it's going to be, I don't like to say it, but 100 times smaller, or 1/100th of 920. So you're going to have 2 shifts of the decimal, or 2 shifts of the digits to smaller place value positions. And you should end up with 9 20 meters, okay? Because if that makes sense though, because if I'm counting by hundreds, then, 100 centimeters are in a meter. So I should have a little bit more than 9 meters for 920 centimeters. So we're always trying to make sense. Again, let's repeat. Meters to kilometers. So we're getting from smaller to bigger. Copy 1578, and it's times 1. Make it make sense. Copy the 1578. Here's the conversion done for you, but that's the last time they do it for you. Okay? And they did it in decimal form, so we can show the answer on the very next line. If I'm multiplying this by 1/1000th, then it's basically all these digits again because it's multiplied by 1, but shifting them to lower place value positions by 3, okay? Because I'm going from meters to kilometers. That's a 3 position shift on your King Henry, died unexpectedly, drinking chocolate milk chart. So if my decimal was here, it's going to be here in my final answer. Now they take the scaffolding away, but that's okay. We don't really need it anyway, right? Okay, so we know that we have to multiply something to get this. What do we multiply to get this? We simply multiply this number by 1 of this unit. Okay, so stick with that unit first before we go on to the next one. Now I'm going to copy this number again, and I'm going to multiply by the equivalent of this in the new unit. Now 1 gram is, when compared with kilograms. Okay, that's hop, hop, hop up the place value chart. Again, it's only 1/1000th of a kilogram. 1 gram is 1/1000th of a kilogram. Okay? So now I have 6,080 multiplied by 1/1000th. I need 1/1000th of that. So it's still going to be 6080 because it's times 1, but it's 1,000 times smaller than this, which means I would put my decimal here and label with my new kilograms so that 6,080 grams is really equivalent to 6 and 80 thousandths kilograms. Okay, let's do another one. 509 milliliters. What do we put here? Make it make sense. 509 times 1 of this unit. Okay, then we're going to take our 509 and copy it down again. And what's our new amount going to be? It's going to be liters. Now notice the difference between milliliters and liters. Again, it's a 3-position hop. Okay, so milliliters are 1/1000th of liters. And again, if you don't want to put the decimal form, you can use a fraction. But if you do fraction, you're probably going to want to set up this step first so you can show your new division problem. But if you set it up with decimals, then you don't have to do that step, because we know this is times 1 for the 509, but then I have to have 1/1000th of that. So if my decimal was here, it has to go 3 places to the left, 1, 2, 3, so that it ends up here. And this is going to be in liters. So 509 thousandths liter. Okay, let's work on these problems on the back. And it's the same thing with the writing a statement as we did in lesson 13. So after solving, write a statement to express each conversion. The first one's done for us, hooray. They give us a little scaffolding here just on this page so you can see. We're gonna copy, copy, and then convert. Here we have a fraction because we're not using just the tenths or the 1/100th or 1/1000th of. So here we have to multiply it out, okay? A jug of syrup holds 12 cups. Convert 12 cups to pints. 12 cups to pints. I think this was throwing people off today because they kept saying times 1p, and I was like, no. We're going to take the 12 times 1 cup, so it's 1 of the old, and then it's 12 times the equivalent of the new, and this is where the change is happening. So 1 cup is how much of a pint? Now, a lot of students won't know this, and I think there's a page in this book somewhere that has a reference sheet, or it might be in your other one. I cannot remember the page number, honestly. But it has the conversion chart for you. So I'll just tell you that there are 2 cups in a pint. And so when we talk about 1 cup, we're talking about a half pint. Okay. So in fact, there's this cool thing that you can do. I usually do this with my class, and I'll kind of do, this is the cup, this is the pint. Then a quart, I do like this. This is the QT, but you can see all the other measurements in it. And then the gallon is like this. There's also a little, not a toy, a little thing you can do called Gallon Man, and you can make him, you can make Gallon Lady if you want, I suppose. We're not trying to discriminate here. Anyway, this can show you, this is a gallon, and it can show you how many of each one. And so if this is a quart, then there are clearly 4 quarts in the gallon. If this is a pint, then you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pints in the gallon, and you can see 16 cups. So it's really handy if you can make a little cheat sheet like this with your cups, pints, quarts, gallons, because otherwise you have to just memorize it, but it might be kind of challenging. Anyway, back to B. Convert 12 cups to pints. So we're here at our 12 times 1/2. So remember that 12 is over 1 times 1/2. And I'm not going to do any cross canceling or anything fancy here. Just multiply straight across. Create your new division problem. 12 divided by 2 is 6 pints. Okay, now I don't really have a whole lot of room for a statement, but I'm going to write one anyway. A jug of syrup can hold 6 pints. It's sometimes I feel like it's just wasting my time, people. Come on. Okay, the length of a diving board is 378 centimeters. Write that down. That's the old unit. What is its length in meters? We want to know. So let's convert copy times 1 old unit. Old unit first. Okay. Then we have to convert times the equivalent of the new. Now remember, a meter is 100 times bigger than a centimeter. If you think of that meter stick you had in your hands, then it's a meter is that arms out to here. And then the centimeter, there were 100. So 1 centimeter is only 1/100th. Keep that new label with it so you don't forget what you're doing. So if I have 378 times 1/100th, which you can also use this one if you wish, then I'm going to multiply by 1/100th, and that means this needs to be 100 times smaller. So it would be 3.78 centimeters. And we also need a statement. So a diving board is Holy moly. Oh, I almost blew it. I'm like reading, going 3.78 centimeters. I don't think so. Okay, so this is the centimeters and this is the meters. I know you guys hate it when I do that. You're like, you're killing me. You're killing me. That's all right. You will survive. 3.78 meters, 1/100th of a meter, and then 3.78 meters. See how writing this statement actually helped me? I hate to admit it when they're right. Okay, the capacity of a container is 1,478 milliliters, 1478 milliliters. Convert this to liters. 1478 times 1 of the old equals 1478 times the equivalent of the new. 1 milliliter is only 1/1000th of a liter. Don't make the same mistake that we did last time. We need to have our new measurement in the second or the bottom box there. And then you can multiply. And we need 1/1000th of that, so we should get 1.478. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to have 3 places. And label it the capacity of the container is 1.478 liters. There we go. Only 2 more. Hang in there. Oh, yeah, I hope you find these videos helpful. I hope I don't mess you up too bad. A truck weighs, that's a lot of grams. I surely don't want to be measuring a truck in grams. No, thank you. Convert the truck's weight to kilograms. Thank you. This is a bigger unit. I want to use big units for big things, not small units, because then the numbers are huge. So we're going to take our 3,900,000 of the tiny grams unit. You know, a gram is like a paper clip. That's how much it weighs. So do I really want to measure a truck with paper clips? No, I don't. So equals how many kilograms? Let's find out. We have to copy this number here and put times 1 of the old. And then we have to copy it again and put the equivalent of the new. 1 gram is 1/1000th of a kilogram. New unit, don't forget to put that one. Now multiply, and it's a 3-position shift. So look, it's going to be a 3-position shift. I'm going to drop those 3 zeros off entirely. and end up with 3,900 kilograms. A truck weighs 3,900 kilograms. Hooray. And finally, oh, did I say click subscribe? I said, please watch videos because they're entertaining, which hopefully they are. Hopefully they're accurate. Anyway, click subscribe and come back again. The distance was 264,040 meters. Convert the distance to, they don't even say where we're going. Where are we going, people? The distance to somewhere, to nowhere, 264,040 meters, convert it to kilometers. Okay, we need this 264,040 times 1 of the old. Same thing. 264,040 times the equivalent of the new. Meters to kilometers is 1/1000th. I'm looking for my little chart, but I can't find it. I'll just have to check the other videos. And this is going to be the new label, kilometers. So go ahead and do your multiplication. It's got to be 1,000 times smaller. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. So we'll have a 264.04. Watch out. I don't have to put this 0 here. You can if it makes your little heart happy, but I usually don't like to do that. Kilometers. And so this is the distance. Hardly worth writing. The distance is 264.04 kilometers. And I hope this is helpful, and I hope I didn't make any mistakes today. Anyway, come back again, and we'll see you on another video. Bye for now.